Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 132nd episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica. I am your not-so-humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, my two partners in crime, coming back for the second last time of 2018. Miss Ali Hart, who can be found at Miss Ali Hart, and Salim Abraham, who can be found at Salim TD. How you doing, you lovely bastards? Welcome.
Yeah, it sounds like we're doing like a suicidal pact soon. It's just like, oh, second last one.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
And the Kool-Aid's coming out. It's the Festivus episode. We're all drinking Kool-Aid straight after.
That's it.
You may need it.
I couldn't think of two better people to go down with. So, yeah, let's get it on.
Such a piece, like it's such a nice gesture. Like,
yeah.
Have you ever looked into Jim Jones?
Bits and pieces. Like, obviously, just the way television and things like that works these days, you can't sort of skip a channel without seeing something tied into some cult-based mass suicides or, you know, whatever else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've dabbled in that space.
You've dabbled in your Kool-Aid prep? Yeah. Cool.
Is that
Very
the Jonestown one? Is that
Yeah, that is.
Because the only reason why I know about that is because of the band Brian's Jonestown Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I know about that is because of the Dandy Warhols and their documentary called Dig.
There you go.
It's a great documentary, by the way. I recommend it.
There you go, listeners.
Dig.
Check that shit out. But only after you listen to episode 132 in its entirety.
How are you, Jim Jones? You good?
I'm doing great. I'm a little bit tired. I've been up since about 7. I just watched the Kind of Funny game showcase because I didn't want to get up at 4:30 in the morning or whatever it was when it was streaming live. So
I did.
Yeah, but that's normal for you. That would have been 5:30. You would have been up for about an hour.
Yeah, but it means I have to be somewhat alert, and I may have fallen asleep somewhere in between. But yeah,
I had all intentions to do it, but I was playing Red Dead Online till about midnight, and then we decided to watch the latest episode of Geordie Shore, which ticked me into bed at about 1. And then, yeah, woke up at 7. Yeah.
Are we going to leave that one alone, or?
It's a hot mess, that show. Like, you watch a show like that to feel very good about your life choices sometimes. Like, last night, this girl, Chloe, got that munted when they got back to, you know, their party share house thing. She took a shit and then a piss in, like, the kitchen on the floor. Like, it's just like...
Hey, look, don't go and judge people for defecating in places where they're not meant to. You need to take a walk in her shoes to understand the situation she was in. I am ashamed of you, Brendan, as someone who has a very notable defecation story from way back when.
It was in a bathroom still, technically.
It was in a bathroom, technically, but it was all over the bathroom.
Yeah, but it was like, we were leaving that morning. It was in a hotel bathroom. So... You know, I'm not waking up in the morning trying to cook bacon and eggs with a nuggie sitting beside me on the floor.
Brendan, just... It's such a rock star story. The hotel bathroom getting trashed. We won't go into that too much further because I feel like the details might turn people away from what is going to be the greatest Game of the Year awards ever. The Hungry Awards Ceremony 2018. Hashtag check yourself.
You keep doing you, my friend. You keep doing you.
So, I have no idea what's going on.
I'm amped up on coffee, you guys.
Yeah.
Let's rock and roll.
Lucky you.
Yeah, I had a beauty before. But yeah, so episode 132, we're going to be recapping the Game Awards as well as the bloody Kind of Funny showcase, which, yeah, finished literally a few hours ago. And then also then giving out our own Hungry Awards as we do every year on the podcast. But I guess before we start pivoting into those award spaces, shall we talk about what we've been playing?
Let's.
Ali, did you and I want to... rip this Band-Aid off first and get the Red Dot Online talk done and dusted early in the piece? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about our shenanigans in the wild, wild west.
So I got to ask, this is sort of the first time you've been doing actually story missions and things in your Red Dead Online experience. How's that felt?
Well, like, I wasn't the best companion for you guys. I got really distracted along the way.
I'll set the scene. Like, literally 5 minutes after joining the posse and posseing up, as they say in RDO, we're riding off to go do sort of a stranger mission. And then we look back and Allie's there distracted, patting two dogs. She's like, oh, I'm the dog master or the dog whisperer, patting dogs left, right, and center while we're like off trying to, wrangle in the Wild West.
Because if you pat them enough, they get like really, really happy. And there was two of them and they were huskies. So I couldn't stop. And one of them had like a white eye and a brown eye. And I was like patting that one. That one was happy. I patted the other one. And then as I started walking away, it was following me. I'm like, hey, look, guys. I made two new friends.
Yeah, she's the Pied Piper of the Wild West.
I am. Hey, at least I brushed your horses.
That's true. You kept Ripley nice and clean. She was very happy for that.
Yeah, no, I'm not a great companion when it comes to story missions. I apologize.
You add some nice variety to the standard just shoot everybody, steal everything type of mentality that is running rampant in Red Dead Online, though. Yeah, so a lot of Red Dead this week. I've just hit level 24. I may have cheated my way to about 5 levels of that. Set the PlayStation.
How's that?
Set the PlayStation 4 on overnight. Got the old fateful blue rubber band here. Joined the lobby. Angled my left stick so I'm walking around the map still and let it burn for about 6 or so hours straight.
You're kidding. And is that it? That's all you need to do?
That's all you need to do. And I like got home from work that day, and yeah, I jumped 4 or 5 levels. Got about $1,000. A couple of gold bars, so
just for walking.
Yeah, because there's obviously the open world free roam, and then there's sort of PvP based playlists. So you just join a lobby, and as long as you're moving, you're never going to get kicked out. So you're getting XP whether you're winning or losing. It can be obviously larger if you're on the winning team, less on the losing team, but you're still just chunking.
Can you not vote to boot someone from the lobby?
Nope.
Not yet.
Nope.
That's coming.
It's coming.
Wow.
And the hate,
I'd hate you so much, bro.
The hate mail is already coming. Like I jumped on.
Good.
And I had about 8 or 9 messages from various people that I must have been playing with in these lobbies, calling me all kinds of curse words and punk bitch and this, that, the other. And
why, could they recognize what you were doing? Could they?
Yeah. Well, if it's a team game, I'm assuming they're I haven't played Red Dead Online at all this week. And not very much of it in general. So is it the team game competition?
Yes.
Right?
So there's team options. Then there's sort of like it's just a randomized playlist. So you'll go from team-based ones where it's just standard team deathmatch, capture the flag type of ones, King of the Hill type of modes, and then it'll go into sort of every man for himself ones. So if you're teamed up with people and you're just Johnny Random walking in circles or just walking in a beeline until you hit a fence and then you're just sort of pushing yourself against this fence the whole time, you get a bit of grief. You get some grief. But you also get some gold bars. So suck it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't deserve that.
So you got extra gold bars on top of the payout that Rockstar's giving everyone for...
Yeah. Yeah, so they've balanced out the in-game economy and currency. So as a thank you to everyone that has played up until today, or a sorry, I guess if you look at it, they gave everyone $250 as well as 15 gold bars.
Well, hold on. Am I eligible?
Yeah, you should be. If you log in, you'll probably get those as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need to log in because that happened before, like the last time I started playing. So
yeah. Yeah, so there's that, and then they've obviously lowered a lot of the costs on weapons and clothing and things like that too, because $1,000 for some guns is just bonkers. But I've got my volcanic pistol now, and I'm just running roughshod with this thing. I paid so much money. I got it like all the metals changed. I got engraving put in it. I've got like a new funky wooden handle. It cost me like $400 just to modify this thing, but it's my boo.
I can't justify it. I really can't. Like, the fact that I had to buy a pair of pants for myself was a struggle, but I think that's going to be the nicest thing that is on me for a while. Because apart from that, I don't really need anything else.
But it's definitely playing with friends is the way to go. Like this week, we've sort of rolled out with Miss Hart, Benny, Rach. We've had a few sessions with Jono as well. Jono's got on. He was kind enough to use the last of his mobile data to jump on and ride through the Wild West with us.
And then head to the Wild West, apparently, where there's no internet for it.
Exactly. But it just adds a nice layer to it when you're doing these missions where you're robbing stagecoaches, assassination missions, treasure hunt sort of missions and things. It's so much more fun when you've got a few other people to bounce off. So I've been really enjoying that. Like playing this by myself, I don't think I'd enjoy it anywhere near as much. So I'm always going to try and get on and play with people.
It's not too bad, to be completely honest with you, but like I guess we've kind of established that some of us just have really different play styles. Like I'm totally content with just, even on an online aspect, just traveling and hunting and just the random encounters. It's nice. I'm actually loving these like random encounters with other people online and just seeing stuff. Like, I don't know if you witnessed it, but I was walking back from the butcher and a person's body just came from, fell from the roof and just splattered in front of me. And I think the person just jumped off the roof. And then they got up, looked at me, and I looked at them, and then they waved and ran off. And then I'm like, this is great. Like, this is exactly what I expect. This is what I remember from GTA Online. And I'm so glad that it's translating well onto Red Dead Online.
Yeah.
Those random encounters is what always drew me back.
They just need to bring in that passive system quick, because we had an exchange with this other rival posse that went for, not even exaggerating, probably nearly 2 hours. Where we'd have shootouts through a town, then get sick of it, and so we'd roll off, but then they'd just follow us no matter where we went. Because your markers show up on the map, they can track you down unless you leave that server. They just hunt you down, and they were just fucking up our quests and just being general dicks. And like, it was cool to a degree, but then it was like, now you're just being wankers for the sake of being wankers.
And that's also what comes from GTA Online.
Yeah.
Everything's all as it should be.
I think I haven't really played it all that much. I am interested to play it, but I'm kind of okay to wait a little while. I'm a bit sort of Red Dead fatigued just because I've been playing a lot of it over the last few weeks, and you've been hearing a lot about it, and you know it's really everywhere that you turn your head in the gaming world at the moment. But also the online experience with GTA 5 was something that just evolved over time, and something that I feel like really only came into its own much later on.
100%, yeah.
So I'd rather probably stick it out until start doing some proper goddamn, I don't know, what, train robberies? Can we do train robberies yet?
No.
And heists and all that stuff? No.
Yeah, like once you be able to rob a bank and rob a proper train, that'd be some next level stuff, and be able to like own businesses and things. So it's bare bones now, but the bones are good. All right, what else she's been playing?
Look, I'm going to get into this before people rip into me. I played Destiny 2 because it released new content. Yes, Black Armory.
Yes,
it came out.
Can you tell me what that is? Because I know really nothing about Black Armory.
Black Armory is like a new extension, like downloaded extension, where it's about this, like from what I can witness, because this is the problem with this new content. First of all, you got to buy a pass. Second of all, like to access all this new like specific stuff, like they've got a forge mode now, which is essentially just a horde mode really, and a lot of people are already saying it's kind of boring. I'm not the light level to reach any of this yet. Like you have got to be like 600 plus for any of this content, so I'm like close to 590 now, so almost there. But Black Armory is like it's this hidden place that's in the tower where it's a lady who like is an arms dealer, I guess, and she's usually you get the mission through Spider. You remember the guy Spider? Yeah, so he gives you like this ticket, and then you go see her, and then you kind of start all these like quests and stuff in regards to armory and stuff like that. You get to do like crafting of weapons as well. Like I said, I haven't gone into it because I'm kind of like
your gear score's
semi-light restricted, and so I had to work on that because there's a new raid. The raid got beaten, I think it was like pretty quick this time around. I think it was only like was it an hour or something? I don't know. But it was definitely much quicker than Last Wish, I think was the last one. So, yeah. So there's a new raid. The raid looks fun. It actually looks fun. Inclusion of sparrows, jump puzzles, and it's not so dragged out, if that's what I could call it. So I need to get to a higher light level so I can participate in this raid. It looks genuinely fun.
I want to get back.
And yeah, it's like it's still fun. Like I'm still enjoying it. There's a lot of salty people because it's Destiny. It's a freaking Destiny community. So there's still a lot of salty people. They're saying that they don't like Black Armory because there's for what it is, like you buy a battle pass. The battle pass for Australia is I think about $50.
$50.
Yeah. But the thing is that I think there's a bit of like bitterness because right now it feels like it's not a lot for the money, the cost, but the thing is Destiny, like Bungie has a rollout plan, so they've actually got a bunch of content. They've got actually I think a diagram somewhere where they're talking about the rollout and when to expect it and everything. But I guess at this stage a lot of people are not seeing value for money. I
don't like what I'm hearing here, Ali.
You wouldn't.
$50 was the price of Forsaken, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think it was roughly the same thing. Yeah, so like I said, I still got no horse in the race because I really haven't gotten to access the content. I've been watching a lot of it. I watched the raid. But yeah, I'm hearing a lot of bitterness. But like I said, that's...
I guess it's hard. Like, it's nice that they've outlined it in a roadmap, but $50 outside of having to buy a season pass for the previous expansions, and now you got to buy a battle pass for this Black Armory and subsequent expansions attached to that. It's a big outlay. Like if you crunch on the numbers, you're looking at probably $200+
just to play, just for the privilege of playing.
Yeah, and I think I would probably turn a bit if I actually sat down and paid attention to how much money I actually have dropped into what this was essentially first Destiny 2, which only came out, what was it, last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you had your Battle of Osiris, you had Warmine, and then you've got Forsaken, and then you've got this new content. Like, you are dropping a lot of money within a very short span. So,
but
I
guess when you attach that grind aspect to it, and you do have those hardcore players that just Destiny 2 is life, and they're 600 gear score smacking raids. Like, it's probably $200 when you're playing this game 20-30 hours a week. Probably is a lot easier to swallow. But yeah, for the casual players that just want to experience new content, it's like bit of a barrier to entry.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's a bit of a reach. It really is. So, yeah, but I guess that's who they've also marketed it to, like you guys said, the really dedicated players, because a lot of them now have already like reached their peak. Like, they already hit their 600s, multiple characters. What do you do from that on? So they make more content, but they put a price tag.
I hear they masturbate a lot because they've got nothing else to do. They just masturbate to like Zavala-esque porn. I don't know.
Oh, blue.
It's that shiny sort of translucent dome. You know, there's a bit of a kink factor there.
It's the voice. It's the sultry tones of whoever that actor is from The Wire.
Yeah. It's the actor. He's in John Wick. He plays the guy in the concierge.
And in Fringe, he was the head of like the FBI arm of Fringe. Great show, by the way. I know I've ramped on about that probably 10 times in all these episodes. Fringe is great. Check it out.
The Fringe is also a great place.
Oh, yeah. And my fringe right now is hanging freely. My hair is swooshing. Swooshing in the wind. Dream, what about you? What have you been playing?
I have been playing a fair bit this week. It's been a good week. I'll start with Heartstone, Rastakhan's Rumble, the new expansion dropped. I haven't played too much of this just yet. I did get 6 free packs. If you play, you just get 6 free packs and a legendary. I actually got another legendary in one of my free packs, so that was nice. That rarely happens to get that good fortune from Blizzard. I played one game with a control warrior deck, like a dragon warrior deck, and it was a win, and it was a lot of fun. The overkill mechanic's the new one, where if you do more damage than you need to kill the enemy minion, a special effect triggers. I
I like
seems
that
like
idea.
a lot of fun.
I like that idea.
Yeah, it's an interesting mechanic. To be honest, I'm probably going to be the victim of a lot of overkill mechanics as I go on to play further, so I'll probably form more of an opinion about how I feel about that after a couple of more games. But that dropped, so if you're at all into Hearthstone, now's the right time to be jumping back in, just to see what the game feels like now. It does definitely feel different from the small interaction I had with it this week. Another one of my favorites, Tekken 7. We had a huge announcement this week, and the content's already dropped. So 2 new characters have joined the roster, Marduk and Armor King, who were both previously thought to be retired characters.
They're like the John Farnhams of Tekken, you might say.
Well, this is an interesting one because Harada, the game developer, the game runner really, basically said that they're dead. The characters are dead.
Oh, wow.
So it was assumed that they were all dead leading into Tekken 7. So no one... I mean, it's Tekken. Anything could happen. But yeah, it was a really pleasant surprise to see these 2 guys come in, particularly because a lot of their moves were actually given to other characters. Like Armor King's moves were given to King, so it was assumed that that's because we won't see Armor King. And Marduk had, there's a new character called Gigas who plays very similarly to Marduk. So again, assumed that we wouldn't see him. But they're both in, they're both available now. They both play very similarly to how they used to. It's a lot of fun just seeing them both back in there. It's good to get characters that are already well developed and well formed. The problem with like a character like Noctis, who's just this sort of borrow character, is that it's really simple and easy to play him, and it's just kind of not fun after a while. Like you press triangle 4 times and he'll do a great string. The combos are easy, the strings are easy, and after a while you really just know what to look out for with them. But characters like Marduk and Armor King, like the rest of the Tekken character roster, very well developed. There's a lot of strategy involved with playing with them and against them. So glad to see them both here.
When's Negan coming to Tekken, right?
Yeah,
When's he coming?
Negan's coming. I think Negan comes early next year, along with Julia. Yeah, there's a great trailer that they played in the Tekken World Finals last week, where it's actually, I don't know Walking Dead season numbers, but the season finale where they're all kneeling in front of Negan, all the characters, the one before Steve Yeun's character dies.
Rest in peace, Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn. So they actually recreated that scene with a bunch of Tekken characters kneeling in front of Negan, and Negan's just like going on about, I don't know, how he's bad and stuff. I don't know. It's a cool trailer though. It's not too bad.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Negan's probably also going to be one of these really simple 2D characters, just because the whole reason to get him in is to get more players into the game. You don't want to make it incredibly fucking difficult for them to learn how to play the character they want to play. So like Noctis, it'll probably just be triangle, 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 but go for it, you know?
Good tactic.
If that's what it gets you in, that's what gets you in. Yeah.
I'd love to actually know if they have some kind of metric where they can work out new players if they have come specifically for Noctis or Negan. Like,
oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely, they would have the data on that because you know what everyone's playing online, right? So they know what the most played characters are. They'd be able to for sure tie it to your account. They'd be able to see when you bought the game, when you bought the DLC, all that stuff.
I just like, I don't know, like I guess because I'm like I like those franchises, but it's not a needle mover for me to buy a game just to play. Like, who knows? Maybe if Joker from Persona comes in there, maybe I'll buy it.
I think the barrier...
Cue the eye roll attached to that, by the way. My God.
I think the barrier for entry for Tekken versus Smash Brothers is very different. Smash is such a more popular game, I think. Tekken's nowhere near as popular with gamers. And it's definitely... I would say it's a lot harder, although I'm sure some Smash Bros out there would like to argue otherwise. Anyway. I've actually played 2 other games this week that are brand new ones for me. So the first one is a game by Supergiant called Pyre, which I'm sure you guys know already. Pyre Came out last year. It's a really interesting game. I'm a big fan of Supergiant. I love Transistor. I loved Bastion. I don't know why it's taken me so long to get on this, but anyway, that's my problem. Pyre's sort of set in this interesting world. It's set in a place called the Downside, which is where these exiles are all sent. All of these sort of enemies of the state are sent. And for these guys, there's sort of no hope of returning to home, the Commonwealth, unless you compete in these contests called the Rights. And then if you're successful in the Rights, then maybe you can return, depending on if you win or not.
Wow.
So the Rights are actually, it's kind of like a 3-on-3 where all you need to do is slam an orb into a burning pyre. And it's a really simple game, but it's actually a lot of fun. And it's interesting how they've added depth to it, because you have characters that all play sort of differently, and they all have different skill trees and different abilities. The team that you face are also formed of, different characters with different abilities, and then the different maps that you play on, and that adds just enough complexity that the Rights themselves don't feel too repetitive. But around that game is a whole ton of story and lore that you just learn on your journey between the Rights. So you're traveling between one contest to another, and you meet your characters and you get to know a bit more about them. It turns out there's an overarching story about how the Commonwealth is like this really dystopic sort of society, and that your sort of broader plan, spoiler alert if you want to play the game, it's not a big spoiler. It basically is in the trailer, so I don't feel bad about this. But the broader plan is actually just to topple the government leading the Commonwealth, because they're just evil. So that's really the game in a nutshell. It's a lot of fun. I am enjoying it. I think it's really beautiful. They, really liberal use of vibrant colors on the overall map, and Supergiant just have a really great, I think, eye for design and style and character development. They really have well fleshed out characters in all of their games, and I was actually really pleased to see, jumping ahead a little bit, that Hades. The Hades trailer dropped during the Game Awards throughout the week.
And it's
the same guys.
Isn't it out right now too?
Early access is out. It's going to come out in 2019. But yeah, I haven't played that just yet. But I love this developer. I think everything they do is fantastic. I've finished this sort of to completion. It's a bit cyclical, this game, because you have to sort of get all of your characters released, but you can only get them released one at a time. So you lose them permanently, and then it's up to the rest of your team to compete in the Rights again, and then you get to lose another and another and another, and they will hopefully go free by the end of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a commitment. But I really rate this game. If you're into, I don't know, indie games, if you're into strategy games, this is a good game. Speaking of strategy games, my last game this week, Total War Britannia.
Oh.
So, Brendan, you were up till midnight last night playing Red Dead.
Yes.
I was up till 3 a.m. last night playing Total War Britannia.
Oh, wow.
And I regret nothing. It is such a fucking Total War game. They all play the same to a certain degree. Like, if you've played one, you've sort of played them all. But it doesn't mean that it's still not fun and still not interesting and still not, like, incredibly painful. So painful to play. Every turn, every action matters. There's so much involved with the game on an economic level, on a political level, and then, of course, like military, moving your armies around, conquering other armies in other regions. I've got, in Britannia, you have nobles, and you have to, like, marry them off, and you have to watch your back around these backstabbing sons of guns, because their loyalty, if it gets low enough, they'll challenge you. And they'll try and take your regions and stuff. And the only way to sort of appease them is to either pay them off or give them, like, an estate, like somewhere that you've conquered. And
How'd you kill them?
I fucking hate it. Yeah, you can kill them too. You can plan to assassinate them, but the problem is you also kind of need these guys because they provide buffs and bonuses to, like, your region, to your whole economy. They're worth keeping around so long as they're happy. As soon as they're not happy with you, though, knives are out.
Well, I've watched a lot of periodic-based history television shows, so I know exactly what you're talking about as far as that jostle for power. Did you play as the Vikings or
I did,
the Anglo-Saxons?
Yeah, I did. So this is set in 878 AD, I think is the first year you start. So it's right around that time, like Wessex, like Vikings, the TV show. It's that era, basically, a little bit, like maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years later.
I'd play that game
that
just to
period.
marry Lagertha and then just have children and not worry about conquering anything else. Just sit at home on my throne.
This
I
game,
play that game.
this game is just as like in Vikings, all the sort of treachery and like this guy's now a Jarl and this guy's now a Jarl and Lagertha's a Jarl. Like it feels like that in my like family at the moment because everyone's coming to get me. It's crazy.
There's an Oprah meme there waiting to be happening.
Yeah. But I love this game. I think it's really well done. It's the third Total War game I've played now, and I think that this one, the military part of it, the battles are always for me the funnest parts because you get to go to war basically, and employ like strategy, and you move your guys here and hide these guys in the forest, and you flank the army and rout them, and it's fun. It's so much fun. There's something that speaks deep to me, deep to my like, I don't know, my white maleness about conquering land and acquiring territory. There's something that just,
Oh my gosh.
there's something in there. There's something in there that's just evoked every time I play these games.
Can't say much
it's-
when I love cooking games, so
It is
carry
so
on.
much fun. If you like strategy games, play Total War. Play. I wonder if it's my favorite. I like Total War Shogun still, probably the most, just because I love, samurai culture. But this is good. This is really good. And I'll keep playing until I conquer all of the British Isles.
You get him. You got Francia yet? You're taking down olden day
No,
France?
that's not around.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not part of the continent.
Payable expansion, you wait.
Yeah.
In the battle pass.
God.
That's it for me this week, and I'll probably continue to play Total War into next week, I guess. But yeah, that's it.
All right. Quick bit of housekeeping before we dive into the meat and potatoes of this episode. So for anyone out there that is rocking those Apple Pods, or Apple EarPods as you call them, and you're sick of them, you think you kind of look like a bit of a wanker with these white little buds, you want something different, head on over to audiotechnica.com.au and grab yourself a pair of the brand new, hot off the shelf ATH-Sport 7 TWs. They look good, they feel good, they are good. Obviously can act as your sort of hands-free device, making calls, listen to music, all that kind of stuff. $2.99 recommended retail price, but they look pretty fresh. Like, I'm not a big in-ear sort of phone type of guy, but they look pretty good. So check them out. Nice sort of charcoaly, dark grey, black sort of tone instead of that big obnoxious white sort of potential mini tampon hanging out of your earlobe. So yeah,
Can confirm.
get these and look good, sound good, feel good. audiotechnica.com.au. And while you're also wanting to be looking good, head over to designbyhumans.com/shop/we are 8-bit for 20 plus designs, the hottest merch in the geek sphere, bar none. Quote me on that, put that on my tombstone, whatever. I am going to die on this hill. We have the best merch in the business. And after you get some nice threads and earbuds, come back next week for our final episode of 2018. Join us as we return to Festivus to air our gaming grievances. If you want to add to the conversation, feel free to drop us a message on Twitter or Facebook, or even email us at hello@8bit.net. Responses can be audio-based, preferably MP3 or WAV. Keep them under 90 seconds if you can, or write them, and we will read them on the episode next week. So, let's get into the Game Awards recap, shall we?
This week's news headlines.
So, did you guys watch this thing in the entirety? Like, it was a long marathon of an awards ceremony. Like, I watched it from start to finish, and it was a journey.
Unfortunately, it was during work hours.
I caught the replay, and I watched most of it. I skipped the trailers just because I've seen all the trailers.
Yes, I too watched it outside of work hours, wink wink. But hey, you can't fire me because I resigned last week, so suck it, Mobotics. Anyway.
What?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that later.
Story for another day. But yeah, there was a massive amount of awards up for grabs and obviously given away over the entirety of the night. God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out as the big winners. So God of War took out Best Action/Adventure Game, Best Game Direction, and the pinnacle of the ceremony, Game of the Year. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 takes out 4 awards: Best Narrative, Best Score/Music, Best Audio Design, and Best Performance. And that was Roger Clark as Arthur Morgan. So did we want to say anything about those 2 games first before we sort of start rattling off some of these other awards that were given away?
Roger Clark's acceptance speech was adorable.
It really was. I loved it. Took the time to thank his wife and his friends and the studio. Very heartfelt. It was one of the moments of the show. He seemed like a dude.
Isn't it? Yeah, and wasn't he like British? Like he had some kind of accent. So like it's funny to always like, I get it, that's voice acting, Ellie. It's acting. But like just how the comparison sometimes on people's accents from how they speak day to day and then the accents that they have to do when they're voice acting. It's just like sometimes it's a contrast. And sometimes it blows your mind when you see what they actually look like. And you're like, whoa, hang on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
On that discussion of what they look like, seeing Chris Judge and the young boy's name who played Atreus and Kratos in God of War when they come up and did the award ceremony. And old mate, Chris Judge, what's that outfit he had going on? He looked like a boss battle from a 90s 16-bit.
He's an absolute style cat. I love it.
He looked great. He's probably had Botox or some kind of face work done. If he hasn't, then let me know what you're doing, mate, because this is Teal'c from
Stargate.
Stargate, and like that was a long time ago, and he still looks great. Like, he's got the hair, he's got the eyebrow, like he had very expressive face. But I love the little back and forth that they did too. That was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think just the awards on whole, like as a whole. If I can get this out of my mouth at all, it'd be great. The awards as a whole, I think they were all pretty much on point. Actually, I have no disappointment at all for anything that was awarded or anyone who received an award. I think Red Dead and God of War were always going to be a bit of a coin toss on Game of the Year. But I'm glad to see that hype didn't sort of dominate the awards. Red Dead obviously coming out much later in the year, getting the praise that it did. It was easy to see that this might have just swept everything. And I'm glad that I guess everyone's kind of got their wits about them enough to put everything into perspective, which is good.
I think the one thing though that I don't care too much about it, but there was a lot of hype leading up to the Game Awards of like, we've got exclusive announcements, we've got this, we've got that. And they even had some, kind of impressive like people that were presenting as well. Like, so
Lisa, Jonah Hill. They had fucking Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, that's his name, Christoph Waltz. I always forget his name.
Yeah, and the
Battle
lady.
Angel.
Yeah,
the lady.
I can't remember her name. And it's funny because it started off with a lot of hype when you had Phil, Sean, and Reggie roll out from Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, and you're like, what's going to go on here? They're going to announce this new cross-platform.
Yeah, they announced nothing.
Yeah, and they just come out and they're like, yeah, we play games. Games are important. See you later. Give me the paycheck. And it was just
I've made Sean Layden.
Finger guns, walk off stage.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Sean Layden could look less impressed to be there. Like, he looked like he could not wait to get away from Phil Spencer. I don't know if they are genuinely good mates or what outside of that. Phil Spencer's in Phil Spencer mode. Like, just ready to go.
Reggie's just enjoying the ride. He's wearing a t-shirt underneath the body.
He's a robot.
He was
Spencer's
probably made in the Nintendo offices.
Oh, no, not Reggie. Spencer. I reckon Phil Spencer only has one mode, and that is Xbox.
I love Phil Spencer. He's the dude, so...
All right.
But yeah, so it started with so much promise, and I think, Ali, you hit it on the head. It was a sort of creature of its own demise where it was hyped up so much that there was going to be these massive big announcements. There was some cool ones, and we'll talk about that after the awards. But yeah, overall, I think it definitely didn't land on some of the hype that was attached to some of these announcements that they were parading around.
Yeah, but still full kudos. Like it was a great awards. Like it was a great awards considering how many years it's been going for? 4 years.
I think
now?
This is the 5th year. So, but yeah, it's still early days. Still early days.
Yeah. So
one thing I want to mention that that made me just cringe was the live concert performance of like the Devil May Cry.
Oh,
song.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
Goodness, that was rough.
So she, there's this great moment where she just gives away the whole lip sync thing when she's singing, and I think she's singing the hook for the last time, and then as it's looping over her, she just holds the mic out to the audience, and the thing just doesn't break. Like, it just keeps singing the loop, and it just looked dumb as shit.
I loved her like sideways little headbang things where she's just sort of swinging her hair back and forth like this, like it was on some Yo Gabba Gabba bloody episode.
Yeah.
And
it was like a real C-grade K-pop performance.
And what was with the metal vocalist that come out, sung the opening hook, and then just disappeared off stage? Like, didn't come back and sing anymore. Like, do you have to go take a shit or something? Like, where did he go?
He sucked.
That whole band sucked. Like, it looked like a Rocker Stedford performance. Like, the young dude on the guitar, he's like,
oh God, there's a
watch me riff, yeah.
John Farnham, Rocker Stedford. There's a lot of references this episode. It's quite peculiar.
Who's the composer they had on again? The famous composer from Star Wars and Indiana and every other great film franchise. John. Oh, fuck, what's his name? Anyway.
John Williams.
Yeah, it's John Williams. So it was John Williams, then them. You know what I mean?
Hard act to follow.
Yeah. Pretty level playing field there.
Great award ceremony in my IMO.
Yeah, I liked it. It went for a while, but when you've got 27, I think, categories, obviously it's gonna go. So if we start moving through some of the winners, we have, just as a quick note to the listeners, we have removed pretty well the majority of the esports talk outside of the esports game of the year. So we aren't talking about the shoutcasters, the tournaments and stuff like that. We're just talking about the main stuff that I think the mass audience cares a little bit more about. But anyway, best action game, Dead Cells took that out, which was a surprise to see a nice little indie get a bit of love. And that was one of the first awards awarded of the evening. Best role-playing game went to Monster Hunter World. Best ongoing game, to no one's surprise, Fortnite won that one. The next one, which I think took all three of us by surprise, and probably a lot of the world out there that maybe hasn't played this game, best art direction went to Return of the Obra Dinn. Very interesting style, black and white, sort of lithograph type of vibe to it. Or as you nailed it so eloquently, the Etch-a-Sketch game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, it was funny because we were going over this list and, like, I just went, what the hell game is that? And Brendan just straight away goes, yeah, I've got no idea. I'm like, do you know what I'm talking about? Yep, he did. Like, it was just like, I've never heard of this game before.
Me neither.
And I feel a little bit bad. Like, I'm like, why has this one gone under the radar? But
Same.
Looks interesting.
Yeah.
It's got my attention now.
Yeah, so best independent game went to Celeste, which was also in obviously the Game of the Year running, which is pretty impressive. Games for Impact, Celeste took that out as well. Best mobile game was Florence. Best VR/AR game went to Astrobot Rescue Mission. Best fighting game, Dragon Ball FighterZ. Best family game, this one, Overcooked 2, which I love seeing take that out over things like Mario Party, Mario Tennis, some pretty big dog tentpole type IPs, and the Overcooked 2 took it out, which is such a fun game. My goodness, that franchise is dynamite.
We need to play that, seriously. I want to play that and see how everyone reacts to each other in that kind of environment.
Yep. So best strategy game went to Into the Breach, which I don't know much about, but looked interesting from sort of the B-reel that they showed when they took it out there. Best sports/racing game, Forza Horizon 4. Can't really debate that. It's a franchise that's just perfected the secret sauce when it comes to racing games. Best multiplayer game, Fortnite. is what it is. Best debut indie game, The Messenger, which is sort of the side-scroller, old-school Ninja Gaiden type roguelike that they've got running around. They've also announced some DLC.
Good, actually.
Yeah, it does look good. Looks like you'd be dying a lot of time and getting frustrated, but you know, that's I think half the beauty of these types of games these days.
It's also a nod to like retro like gaming. So each time you level up, kind of thing, the quality and graphics get better and the music changes. Yeah, look into it. I think some people might actually like that one.
Yeah, and then best esports game, Overwatch took that out over titles like League of Legends, CS:GO, and such. And the last one we'll mention, the content creator of the year, goes to Ninja, who also gave away an award with a Muppet. I don't know if you guys saw that, but this little crustacean, very awkward selfie segment.
My favorite was all the posts. Like, everyone made the same joke, but everyone was just like, oh, they got a Muppet to the awards, and they got Pepe with him too. Funny. Everyone's a comedian. Yeah. Content creator of the year. Were they all streamers?
They were all streamers, and
no YouTubers.
Every bit of B-reel attached to their sort of announcements of who the nominees were all were tied into Fortnite. So, yeah.
Indicative of something.
Yes, the cultural phenomenon. Oh, I've got to say, related slightly, Archer had his graduation ceremony on Friday, and the amount of little 5-year-old kids doing Fortnite dances is terrifying. It is everywhere. It is like a plague. Epic. Can't fault you, I guess, for taking over the gaming sphere. But my God, it makes me angry.
Look, I cringe because I'm an old fogey who hates people, life, and society, but they could be doing worse stuff.
That's true. They could be on heroin, you know? They
could be listening to John Farnham or doing the Rocker Stepford.
Bit of You're the Voice. Come on now. Get the tapping sticks out for the big beat drums.
It seems very popular for everyone to be all like, oh God, look at what the kids are doing. I'm like, you know what? They're dancing.
Yeah.
They're just dancing.
They
could be calling our mums big fat hoes, but they're not. They're just dancing.
Big fat hoes.
I don't know. I was trying to think what they used to like. What I was used to hearing when I used to play COD, and when COD was the game that like a lot of young kids would play. And oh my God,
there was a lot of there's a lot of I'll fornicate with your mum talk. That's for sure.
Yeah. I'll do some horizontal folk dancing with your mum.
That's it. Yeehaw. While listening to John Farnham's Whispering Jack album.
That's the third Farnham reference this episode.
He's relevant
today, Brendan.
He's still relevant.
Yeah, oh, so relevant. Yeah, he's relevant.
He's retired and done farewell tours about 15 times.
It's true.
Anyway, so that is the award winners. And then I guess tailing off the back of that, talking about some of the announcements. So I've grabbed the Game Awards 10 biggest announcements via a Polygon article that was put together by Owen S. Good. And it's broken down into the anticipated, the teasers, the really big reveals, and then the unexpected. So if we lead it off with the anticipated, the first one that's rattling off on the list was Far Cry New Dawn, which was the sequel to the latest Far Cry game. Spoilers, at the end of that game, pretty much doomsday occurred, missiles were fired, Earth was in a whole world of hurt. So this ties on the back of that, where it's got a little bit of a Mad Max, but almost like it looked like Rage 2 without the mutants and the abilities.
I just want to say that, like, I feel like there's always like a running theme in gaming, like, you know, zombies, pirates, but now it's post-apocalyptic like environments. So,
like the trailer didn't hook me. Like it just looked like
me either.
Far Cry, like a watered down Rage 2. But it is what it is. Obviously Rage 2 got a bit more love at the show, and they've confirmed the release date of May 14th, 2019. And I should say, tailing back or looping back to Far Cry, it's coming out February 19th. So within 12 months of the latest Far Cry game. So they're moving and shaking pretty quick there. The next one, Ancestors, The Humankind Odyssey. Didn't grab me at all.
Yeah, same. I think this looked really interesting, but it was nothing. It was really boring to watch the trailer.
Yeah. So for those that haven't seen it, go check it out. But the Clef Notes is you start as primate and do the evolution to a full-fledged bipedal male or female potentially. And you just see the monkeys and the cavemen and everything else fighting all kinds of animals and working out how to make instruments like sticks and fire. And it was just, I don't know. There was not enough poo flinging for me to get excited. So
You don't make sticks.
But yeah.
Sticks
You're
exist.
I want to tie this back somehow to defecating in public, but I'll let you go. I'll let you go here, Brendan.
Can you link it back to John Farnham, though?
I would love to throw a nice handful of feces at John Farnham at one of his next
Last time tours,
yeah. I would love to.
What did the moth do to you?
He went back on his deal. He went back on his word. He said it'd be the last time ever 4 times ago. Anyway.
Or maybe he was teasing you.
That does annoy me though. Nice.
I see what you
segue.
did there, Ali.
That was a segue attempt, but you know.
Yeah.
Someone's got to steer the ship.
Yeah. Hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, so moving into the teasing, the one that I actually stuck the landing on in our predictions last week, I might say. New Dragon Age was teased, short little trailer with the sort of the tagline, the Dread Wolf rises, I should say. No dates, no gameplay footage, just a pretty nifty CGI trailer. The Dread Wolf is actually sort of an evil, I think he's an elf-based character that you met in sort of the first one. He's from like Dragon Age mythos, and he's sort of coming obviously to rain hell upon the Dragon Age universe. So I'm keen as beans to try and romance the shit out of that guy when this game comes out in whatever year. And then on the back of that, another tease, which was pretty cringe too. The Stranger Things 3, the game, 16-bit gameplay, weaving in the stories for the upcoming season 3 of the Netflix phenomenon. Didn't really hook me at all. Don't know if it's any interest to you two.
No.
Zilch. Yeah. It's a funny one though, isn't it? Because a lot of people will get it. Yeah. I don't know. It reminds me of the crappy sort of 2D side scroller that came out with Final Fantasy 15, King's Tale or whatever it was called, where it's sort of his dad's journey.
Yeah.
And it's just a beat 'em up as well, but it just looked like crap.
Yeah, it's just fan service.
Played bad. Yeah.
Yeah, people that are all about Stranger Things will buy this game, but not for me. Sound like it's not for you two.
No.
The really big reveals is the next segment from this article. So the first one, The Outer Worlds, which is a new IP from Obsidian, obviously from Fallout fame, as well as a whole host of other titles. And obviously they are now owned by Microsoft, but they are sneaking this title out across all platforms. So Microsoft weren't able to lock this bad boy down. But Borderlands meets Star Wars is sort of one of the main things that we're hearing about. Like it's obviously space adventure tied into that massive RPG universe that Obsidian are known for. Look good. Look really good.
Yeah. This one did get a bit of hype. Someone also pointed out what they put in the trailer, saying that they were responsible for the Fallouts, the good Fallouts.
Yeah.
Is that what?
Yeah. Yeah. Original Fallout and then New Vegas, which they were tied to. They did sort of South Park Stick of Truth and a bucket load of other titles, but they know how to make massive open world RPGs. So
this could be really good.
Let's get it. Dream, you got anything to add to The Outer Worlds?
Not really. I think you said it all. Yeah, it looks cool.
Let's talk about the next one.
Yes.
Yeah, the next one's interesting.
Atlas came out of nowhere from Studio Wildcard, who obviously make Ark. And Atlas apparently supports 40,000 players in a single world. This is the Sea of Thieves killer. It looked like everything Sea of Thieves, well, at least I want it to be, and then some. It looked great, being able to have massive sea battles in your ships on the ground, have encampments and sort of fortifications, fighting big sea monsters, living that pirate life. It looked brilliant. What do you guys think?
I'm excited because I was heavily into Ark, and Ark was able to prove that it was, first of all, able to handle a lot of people, not to mention just all the different dinosaurs and, you know, the different occurrences that happened in that and these massive laid out worlds. So, and graphically wise, it was always quite impressive. So this Atlas could be really good. It could be really fun. Who knows? They might drop the ball. There was a lot of server issues with Ark and a lot of people taking over a lot of servers. But I mean, this could be really good. I also love that people are using the term Sea of Thieves killer.
Yeah, yeah. Like it looked gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks absolutely stunning.
Dream, you in on Atlas?
I'm not 100% sold just yet, only because the pirate setting isn't really one that I gravitate towards sort of naturally. I haven't played Sea of Thieves. This definitely looks more serious than Sea of Thieves in its intent. But I will wait and see. I don't know. I could definitely see myself getting behind a game like this, but I also know that Ark is a commitment, just like any one of these other MMOs. So I'm always a bit, any non-Blizzard MMOs, I'm always a bit skeptical.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the amount of grind hours attached to maybe get yourself a giant ship with crewmates and decent cannons and things.
And a pet kraken.
Yeah. But it looked good. And it's definitely piqued my interest. That was one of the first trailers I saw during the Game Awards where I'm like, oh, hello. I could see myself playing this because I'm all about that pirate life.
Nautical.
So moving into the unexpected, the one that has got the internet ablaze, Joker from Persona 5 joins the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate lineup as the 76th fighter. 76 fighters. What in the fuck?
This is awesome. It makes a lot of sense. I loved the announcement as well. I thought it was done really, really well. It put a little, like, you know, fire in my heart because I love the Persona series. Like, Persona 5 is great. It has a lot of great characters in it. And it was just great hearing their voices again and just seeing the announcement and how they did it. And I might actually buy Super Smash Bros.
For that one character.
Nice.
No, not because of the one character. Like, I've been sitting on the fence on whether I was going to buy Super Smash Brothers only because I feel like single player, it probably isn't as fun to me as it would be just playing with friends. So I'm sitting on the fence with that. But seeing both the Joker announcement and then seeing a lot of the gameplay lately has definitely, made me draw closer to actually buying it. And the Joker announcement was just like that. Another step forward is pretty much what I'm suggesting.
The trailers they weaved in to the Game Awards on Smash were fantastic. I love that there was, I think, 4 in total, maybe 5, with various little scenarios and characters and sort of plays off the games that they're known from. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I'm a lousy Smash player. I want to pick it up eventually, but like I didn't have the urge on Friday to rush out and pick it up and drop what I was doing and dive into Smash like a lot of the other gaming world did, but we'll see. What just as a quick sort of question to yourselves, who do you think will be the next character included into Smash that is a very unexpected addition?
See, like because Persona 5 actually got a character on there, I'm just wondering, like, would it be someone a bit more animated, or would they go like this kind of more like kind of human kind of character? Because I remember when Snake joined, I was a bit like, this is a bit off. But then all those other characters from like Soul Calibur and stuff started joining. Although all those bloody sword fighting ones, they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
Kratos. It's got to be Kratos.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I was going to go. I was going to go Master Chief.
Master Chief. You reckon Master Chief's going to get in there? You reckon Microsoft's going to lend Master Chief over to Nintendo for Super Smash?
I think Nintendo and Microsoft have a pretty damn good relationship these days. So, yeah.
Master Chief.
Yeah, man. Because he is Xbox and Microsoft if you look at it in that way. So, chuck that figurehead in.
Okay, all right, cool.
But because Reggie did hint in sort of the discussion about it that this does lend itself to bringing in characters from IPs that you wouldn't even think of. So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay.
Another fighting game announcement. Ed Boon rolled out to take the piss about racing and sports games, only to sneak in trailer for Mortal Kombat 11, which is also launching April 23rd next year. So not too far in the distance. What did you guys think?
Well, like I would get hyped to see any Mortal Kombat, but the trailer was a horrible trailer. Like, the graphics were great, the fighting sequence was great, the music was off.
What's wrong with
I think the music was
funky hip hop, son?
Yeah, I think the music was
It just
okay.
felt off. I don't know why. I was so immersed in like the action, but then the music was just kind of like over here. So it was like really taking me away from like what was happening on the screen, kind of thing.
I think
I don't know. I just like associate heavy like prog metal.
Sorry, heavy.
Nothing. I was just gonna say like it's like that really like dirty metal that usually gets associated with Mortal Kombat.
Bring the Devil May Cry band back.
I think it was a good trailer. I think it. I think it's a trailer that's aware of Mortal Kombat and its community more than it is, I guess, trying to put some sort of operatic theme over a very tense moment, battle or whatever. Like it just knows it's this super violent fighting game, and it's put two of its most iconic characters up there to stab each other through the chest, the eye, the mouth, the jaw, decapitate, rip in half. It was a pretty like blech trailer as well, though. I mean, it actually looks like every bit of gameplay footage I've seen for Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really say much.
No, it didn't say fucking anything.
But hey, Raiden
why
had
this game's
red
different.
lightning now. He had red lightning.
Who's your new?
Red.
Yeah, who are your new
Red.
characters though? Like, you know, what? How does the story evolve? All of this stuff that actually like fighting games do their best to ham in. It did nothing to actually talk to any of that, as far as I could tell. So yeah, it just looked like nothing.
Yeah, it was
new.
It was strange that they recycled Scorpion through twice. Obviously, two iterations of Scorpion. One got killed, then the other one rolled in and killed Raiden pretty quickly. And I'm pretty sure it was John Farnham's cousin at the end, that sort of bald person hanging around that big structure.
Fuck off.
Oh, God.
Last time, please. I'm telling you, last time. Don't come back.
Yeah.
Oh. I just don't know where to go from here.
Let's
go
Marvel
next.
Ultimate Alliance 3. I didn't see this coming.
Neither did I.
I liked Ultimate
I
Alliance.
also don't care.
Oh, what? Get out.
I don't. It looks really boring to
I
me.
thought it was maybe the greatest single player sort of ISO RPG I played as a teenager.
I loved it. The first one, I
Yeah.
think, was that on PlayStation or PlayStation 2, the first one? But I played the shit out of it, whatever console it landed on. But it looked good. It's a Nintendo Switch exclusive, though, is the biggest thing that surprised me from this announcement. So it's not coming to Xbox, not coming to PlayStation, only on the Switch. Graphics, the nice enhancements there look good. The roster looks good. Bringing in X-Men as well as the standard sort of Marvel cast of characters.
Great day to do it with the end game trailer dropping. Great time to drop it with all of those characters, with end game only around the corner. This will be big, I think, with a lot of kids out there.
Yeah, and if this has functionality...
Well, yeah, kids and adults that are suffering from arrested development.
Hey, I'll play this game, so fuck you.
I'm right here, Brendan. Anyway,
You are.
sorry, go on.
But if you can play this sort of 4-player online co-op, it would be even better, I think. Obviously, because I think at least the first one was limited to just 4-player. Like, you could do multiplayer couch co-op only, nothing online. But if you could chuck this online with 3 friends rolling around as Hulk and Code, that would be the business. But Ali's just like, fuck this game. As she eye rolls. I heard that eye roll through the headphones. And then one, obviously, I saw you drop in there, Dream, that wasn't attached to this document there. Hades. which is the new Supergiant game.
Thought you'd. I noticed you skipped over that. It upset me a lot. The other thing I want to say is I think this game, the trailer they dropped for this game, reminded me so much of Transistor. So it's great to see that they're going back to that style of game. Transistor's fantastic. If you want to get a feel for this, early access is it's out now on Steam Early Access, but if you want to play something that's a bit more fleshed out, I think give Transistor a try and you'll get a really good sense of, I guess, what Supergiant are capable of.
For sure. Look good. I really like Transistor. I was very late to the party on some of those games, but I've enjoyed my time with them, and I'll try and give Hades a crack. Early access now, so jump on over to Steam and pick it up and see what you think. But moving into the next game showcase over the last 3 days, hot off the press this morning, as mentioned, the Kinda Funny showcase occurred about 6 hours ago now, and the Kinda Funny showcase in itself was a mainly indie game showcase from the guys who brought you Kinda Funny Live 1 and 2, as well as their daily streams, podcasts, and everything else from the geek and game culture. And the showcase itself gave us 60 plus minutes of game trailers, announcements, and shenanigans, which was chaired by Tim Geddes and Greg Miller. 69 games in total, giggity,
Nice.
were shown this morning within about 70 minutes total runtime. We won't go through everything, maybe rattle off a few that took our interest or worth discussing. A lot of cameos to start with that led off from people all across the industry. Some pretty big heavy hitters.
That was a good intro.
Yeah, it was a really good intro from people from all walks of life within the gaming sphere. But yeah, the great thing, it was 60 minutes ish. So find the time to grab an hour and head on to Kinda Funny Games and check the conference out in its entirety. But Miss Hart, did you take some notes? Because you watched it. Dream, you haven't, because you were tied up playing Total War till the wee hours. But anything you wanted to mention or some games that have piqued your interest from the showcase?
Moving Out was one that actually really caught me off guard, and it's one of those kind of, I don't like using the term silly, but just like very simple ideas in regards to like what the game concept is, which is essentially moving furniture. I don't know how else you could say, like, it's obviously complex environments and everything like that, but that looks just simple fun. Also want to shout out Guacamelee.
Yeah.
Guacamelee 2 got some content to show off as one of the Kinda Funny superheroes.
Yeah, the old shirtless arachnid man DLC is coming to Guacamelee 2.
I like that they decided to use that terminology too, to not hit any copyrights. And to be honest, as soon after the showcase finished, I actually went on to my game and quickly unlocked the character, and it's super cute because in the game there's pollo power, so chicken power, where you turn into a chicken, and when you play this character, because Greg Miller has a dog called Portillo, which is a little sausage dog, when you do pollo power, you actually turn into Portillo the dog. And it's super cute, although it's kind of sad whenever he dies.
Yeah, that's a little on nose, but no, they look great. I love this franchise. I haven't played anywhere near as much of the Guacamelee 2 games that are out at the moment as you, but I've enjoyed it every time I've jumped on and rumbled around and smacked a lot of enemies up.
Yeah, no, it's just for a game that's definitely not my type of game, it has captivated me so much. Just everything about it, it's A plus quality, to be honest. So.
Some more A plus quality. Freddie Prinze Jr. getting a bit of on air time.
What was that about?
He still looks good.
He announced a game. No, it was Toe Jam and Earl.
Toe Jam, yeah.
Yeah, so he was the lead-in for the new Toe Jam and Earl HD remaster, remake, reboot, re-something. But yeah, Freddie Prinze, obviously he's deep in the gaming sphere these days, doing streams on Twitch and on YouTube and stuff like that. So yeah, looking old, but looking regal.
He still looks good.
Yeah.
He looks good still.
Yeah.
For his age.
Moving Out was on my list as well. The cool thing is that's from SMG Studios from Sydney here in Australia.
Oh shit!
So that was
really?
a good little shout out and good mention.
Represent.
Another one that the game didn't interest me, but Adam's Ascending, which was there was another live action trailer
Yeah.
But it was like this guy crash landing on some planet, spaceman, takes his helmet off, goes wandering around, puts his helmet back on, goes into a cave, has some weird experience in there.
And then the sequence repeats.
Yeah.
No, I completely forgot about that. I actually looked into it after the showcase, and I think he's got like a Patreon, a Kickstarter set up, so he can work on this game. 1-person team as well. So
which was good to see. And that was one thing that was pretty clear from the jump of this is you're seeing games from singular entities like with Adam's Ascending, and then you're getting a couple of big sort of more tentpole franchises mentioned. Like we saw some additional info on Anthem of all things, which took me by surprise. A 6-minute sort of developer diary sort of video available to watch as well. Conan Unconquered, that trailer looked pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, I was getting excited for a moment. Because of like how everything was set up. I thought we were getting like an Age of Mythology.
No, you're not. Just a new Conan expansion. So Celeste and Windjammers getting physical releases via the limited run website. Another game I thought looked interesting was The Occupation. Sort of first-person, almost espionage-esque game, but it's tied into real-time gameplay, so every second you use in the game will adjust the world around you. So if you're late to things or what you're up to, other characters and NPCs will monitor you differently, react to you differently, things like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Slay the Spire was like a roguelike deck builder, which looked pretty funky. Away, Journey to the Unexpected. Did you see that one? Sort of.
I'm trying to remember what
that was. The one tied in with a French dev company and a Japanese dev company that are doing the soundtrack and the anime art style.
Yeah. People are hyping that one, actually. I've seen a few people on my Twitter feed hype that one up.
Yeah. Sumo, simple sort of battler with sort of local and online functionality. Rhyme 9000, that trailer, I nearly had a seizure. That thing was insane. 5 levels of audio and visual fidelity dialed to 10 million. Like, be careful when you watch that trailer. That was something.
Yeah.
So a couple of party games, Turbo Lance and Thunder Rally, which could be couch co-op or online-based ones that look the business. Ape Out, which comes out February 7th, which you are playing as a gorilla and you need to ascend this building, killing everyone and everything in your way.
As you do.
And then the last couple, A Fold Apart, which I thought was pretty cute.
That was kind of cute. It looks great, like art direction wise, and like the concept's pretty unique as well. I just don't know how long I could see myself playing that. Yeah.
So you play as one half of two star-crossed lovers, I guess you could say, and you can sort of, the game screen, you can fold it into certain pieces like paper to sort of get across certain obstacles and events and create sort of bridges and gaps to clear and things like that. So
yeah, the love story is about the whole concept of dealing with a long-distance relationship. So, yeah. Yeah,
which was nice. And then sort of they rounded out with two more heavy hitters. They had Judgment, which I didn't hear the audio a bit because we were sort of talking in pre-game before we were recording. Is it an expansion or an offshoot of the Yakuza franchise?
I think so. I think there's attachment to Yakuza from what I remember.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought. I didn't think it wouldn't have been because there was character design from it as well.
Exactly. And it was obviously another PS4 exclusive, done by Sega and Co. So Judgment, and then the last trailer that they wrapped up with was tied into the final season of The Walking Dead, which is now getting helmed by Skybound Games. So
this wasn't actually a surprise to me. This wasn't. So
yeah. So that was the kind of funny showcase. I was impressed. Like it had a lot of polish. Because I, in my naivety, thought it was going to be like a live stream and they were going to just be rattling it off live. Like Jeff Keighley's Game Awards was actually all pre-recorded and edited and cut together, and they just ran it from start to finish.
Which is smart. Which is smart now that I think about it. So, I think they did, for being, a group of like 7 just out of a small studio in San Fran, for what they did. they did remarkable. And then I think what they did for indie gaming as well is really awesome and positive too, because there's a bunch of games here that who knows if I would have ever known that they existed. So this stream, from what I remember, had up to like, I think they like got up to 25,000 people watching from what I paid attention to, but there could have been more. I think it might have been even 29,000. So yeah, no, it's really good what they did.
Yeah, nah.
Hopefully they do it again.
Yeah, I think it will probably be the first of many of this sort of kind of funny showcase, because yeah, it was well put together, and as you said, it shined a lot of light on a lot of devs and studios and everyone else in between that don't really get much attention. So hopefully it'll ascend a lot of these games that they've sort of shown today. Yeah. But Dream, allocate an hour, go watch it. You might find a few games that you could fall in love with there too.
I just might.
All right. So moving into our own internal Hungry Awards for 2018, I thought I might quickly just flip the running order of this, and maybe we lead off with the Christmas Gift of the Year award, and we'll end with our Game of the Year. Probably might make more sense, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So my Gift of the Year, I have said, for people that have, money is no object, PSVR. It is the time to get yourself a PlayStation VR. And right now, not including the upcoming Christmas sales that'll probably drop, you can get the PSVR Mega Bundle for under $450 to get you the PSVR unit, PlayStation camera, Doom VFR, Skyrim VR, Wipeout Mega Collection, Astrobot Rescue Mission, VR/AR Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and VR Worlds. Oh. But make sure you get a copy of Resident Evil 7 while you're at it, because it is the perfect game for VR and one of the best games to come out in the last couple of years. But if you want to spend a little bit less, get yourself a PlayStation Classic Mini for about $150. Dream?
Yeah, I put about as much thought into this as I did every other Christmas gift I tend to buy people. I just went straight for what I think is just a very straightforward and easy gift. Again, maybe a bit more on the pricey side, but I think that for any Switch owners out there who don't already own it, Pokemon Let's Go, I think it's just such an accessible game. I cannot wait to get it, and it is on my Christmas list. Along with the Switch, if you don't already have one like me, that is going to be my gift to myself. But I just think that the story, the rhetoric around this game at the moment, it's so positive and so good. There's so many people who are actually really happy to be playing Pokemon again, and it seems like there's a new energy around the game and the franchise that hasn't existed for a long time. I think, the sort of cookie cutter Pokemon games that have just been pumped out over the last 5-10 years have really dipped it for anyone who's not paying attention to the franchise and isn't a diehard fan. So I think that this is my Christmas gift of the year, to me, at least.
Have you been naughty or nice, Dream? That is the question.
Always nice, Brendan. Always nice. You know me.
Can confirm.
I liked your original answer.
What was that again?
You wrote coal.
Oh.
It's cheap.
And usable. It's functional.
Yeah, it's very functional.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Miss Hart?
I am very serious when it comes to gift giving. So this kind of question, it's like, I need to know the person. I need to, I wrote PC as a joke because I think I've said it every year now. It's like, get off the consoles. Just get yourself a fucking PC. At least buy someone a component so they can start building. Seriously, people, build your own PC. It's rewarding. But I'm also going to just jump on the arse end of Sam's present. And if you want to also get that person additional stuff, one thing that's out there now is people are designing either plastic, silicone based handles, grips that you can place on the back of your Switch.
Yes.
Because I know I get a lot of fatigue in my hands when holding my Switch. Portable mode. So there's actually a lot of different people that are making them, so you can shop around, see what you like. But yeah, essentially they're just little protective covers that you place on the back of your Switch, and they've got kind of the positioning of any standard controller that sits in the palm. So then, you don't get that kind of grapple fatigue that you can kind of get when playing your Switch. So look out for that. It seems pretty useful. Some of it is kind of pricey, so it might be the perfect thing for a person that might want it for their Switch, but won't fork out those few extra bucks just because it's, a little extra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, 100%. So if we shift to our most anticipated game, or most anticipated based off Dream's answer here for 2019 and beyond. Miss Hart, did you want to lead us off on that one?
Yeah, I'll go first. Animal Crossing, give it to me now. Seeing all the Animal Crossing content in Super Smash has also made me super keen. Also, another reason why I'm probably going to buy Smash is because I've seen Isabelle play in it and she's cute as fuck. Yeah, there's a lot of us that are waiting for Animal Crossing. We've gotten a little bit of a teaser of it now. I want more. I want more trailers. I want more. I want an announcement. I want a date. I want it in my hands now, please. I want to flirt with animal villages. Thank you.
All right. I've sort of gone twofold with this. In the short term, the Resident Evil 2 remake, and that sort of ties into obviously my love / borderline obsession with this franchise, especially Resident Evil 2. Obviously getting to play a bucket load of it at PAX in October has got me all in, so I cannot wait for the end of January to pick up my copy of Resident Evil 2 and fall in love with that franchise all again. And then in the long term, I have been looking and getting excited for The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen so far, it looks like it's going to be another home run for Naughty Dog. And I think that's outside of the zombie fatigue and everything else that is running rampant or slowly shuffling rampantly through the video game industry. Zombies are everywhere, but yeah, The Last of Us 2 is going to be something special. I can't wait to see what they do with Ellie and everyone else. So bring that on in 2020. But as I've written here, prove me wrong, Sony. Bring it out in 2019 instead, please.
It would be nice. Yeah, it would be nice. That trailer for The Last of Us 2 is still... Yeah, it's really something, isn't it? It really tugs on the... not quite nostalgia strings, but it tugs on something, I think.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it tug on something?
Tugs on something. Bit of... Anyway, I'm not going to even go down that road right now. I too would like to see The Last of Us 2, but I think the two games for me... Actually, I won't even go to the two. I'll just say the one game to me that I'm really interested to see and that I'm really looking forward to seeing how it does is Anthem. In the Game Awards, it showed up again with another little bit of a trailer. And it just reminded me that BioWare's a great company. This game actually does look fantastic. Everything we know about the game at the moment, short of whatever showed it, the kind of funny showcase that I'm still yet to watch, it just seems really interesting to me, and I will really be interested to see whether this game performs as expected, which is, will it meet all the hype around it since it, showed up 2 years ago, or is it just going to fall flat on its ass?
Hearing a lot of positive stuff from the testing that's going on at the moment. It's like beta testing, or alpha testing or something going on, and a lot of people are saying that they are enjoying it. So
yeah. I think it's going to be cool. Like just flying around in a little mech suit, through the sky, taking on whatever the fuck enemies there are out there, like balling around in a team.
Probably John Farnham.
Yeah.
Could be old Farn Dogs himself. He is immortal. Sold his soul to the devil in the 80s.
Remember that song he did with Human Nature?
No.
Every time you cry?
Okay.
I do remember that. Yeah, I do.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'm still keen as beans for Anthem 2. Like I'm a BioWare tragic. So yeah, I they're selling, I'm buying type of thing with pretty well all their franchises. So I can't wait. That comes out in, I think it's the 22nd of Feb.
Yeah, it is.
So it's not far.
Feb 22.
Oh yeah. Indie Darling of the Year. Dream. Did you want to lead us off?
Yeah, I do, because I don't have one, and I want you guys to make a case for yours. So I started to realize very quickly that I haven't actually played many decent indie games that were released this year. I certainly haven't played Celeste. I haven't played Ali's Answer either. And I understand that Celeste is a hype beast, but I want to know why you guys think that your games of the year are the game of the year. And you have two different answers here, so this will be good.
Did you want me to start off, or do you want to go, Miss Hart?
I'll go because I kind of already brought up mine. Guacamelee 2. Guacamelee 1 was always like, I'm always surprised that I liked that game as much as I did. The design and everything about it, like all the like Mexican culture and references to gods and that sort of stuff, was all very intriguing. But the fact that the game actually captivated me to finish it, also on a hard level, hard difficulty as well, is just a miracle. So when I heard that Guacamelee 2 was coming out, I was stoked. And playing it, it felt like I was back to where I was. Like, they didn't change it anything to make me hate it. They didn't change it, not change it enough to make me feel like I was playing the same game and got bored with it. The introduction of new characters, different kind of storyline, but the difficulty level like increased, so it wasn't too easy for me, and I loved it. It's still still fun, and I played it this morning, so
so it's fresh in your memory.
Fresh in my memory.
Brendan.
So I hedged my bets with Celeste as well. I didn't play a huge amount of indies as well, so I guess my scope wasn't as broad as other people in this field. But I really, really enjoyed the experience on the Switch. It's made by a small team. Matt Makes Games and his other team members put together a pretty heartfelt experience. Obviously, you play as a young girl named Madeline, and she is trying to climb the fictional Celeste Mountain. And I like that there is a very sort of emotional story attached to it, where you are dealing with self-doubt and inner demons and the good and the bad, and trying to, I guess, assure yourself that yes, you can, and you can get through hardship in life. Like, I think the game transcends more than just a standard platformer where you're jumping around levels and trying to survive and
turn into a chicken.
Yeah, touche. You got me there. Or a sausage dog now with the free expansion there. But the soundtrack and the score to this game is second to none. The replayability in it is great because there's cassette tapes hidden within each level, which have B-side variations of the levels. If you finish all those B-sides, then you can get the C-sides, which are an even harder sort of variant to the levels as well. So there is a lot of replayability and a lot of want to go back if you are a completionist chasing glory and that sort of 100% of a game. But I liked it. The art style is great. The story that it weaves, the characters you meet throughout your climbing of the Celeste Mountain, and even just seeing them win a couple of awards at the Games Awards and their very heartfelt acceptance speech, I thought was really nice too. So it's worth a pick up. Obviously on all platforms now, and physical release coming early in the new year. But grab it on the Switch, play the absolute hell out of it. It's magical.
I mean, it's hard to compete with an indie game that actually got nominated for Game of the Year. So,
just, you know what though, Ali? The way you spoke about Guacamelee 2, there was a lot of conviction there. And I believe you, you know?
It's genuine love. It's an honest, genuine love for this game.
But you know what I like about Brendan's Celeste a bit more is that Brendan threw a bit of shade on you. He fought a bit dirty there.
That's a bit of a winning combo for you, isn't it?
Yeah,
All right.
Dirty tactics, I'm all for it. Brendan, Celeste it is. Game of the year. Indie Game of the Year.
All right, so the last award in the Hungries, the Game of the Year. Dream, do you want to lead us off? Because you're throwing me in all kinds of curves here with your written short response there.
Spider-Man or Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Red Dead Redemption 2. That threw you off, did it? So those are the three that I've played out of the Game Awards nominees. I didn't play God of War, and that's definitely my pile of shame at the moment of games that I need to finish or start even. So just looking at the three that I have played this year, Spider-Man, not really. I think Spider-Man was a great Spider-Man game, but it does feel very generic to a point. It did feel like Batman, Arkham Asylum to me to a certain degree. It also felt like Spider-Man 2 from PlayStation 2, believe it or not. That sounds dumb, but I guess what I mean by that is that you're still doing just about the same things that you were in that game. There's a story, there's crazy little crimes happening, and you're just web slinging through the place. Still a great game, but just not Game of the Year. Assassin's Creed Odyssey I didn't play enough of, but I think that this was a really interesting game because the setting was just beautiful. It's kind of got a bit of a Black Flag vibe to it as well because of the ship battles that you have in there as well. It's kind of cool going through this sort of Spartan mythos where you're the son of this is Sparta, whatever his name is, Leonidas, or the daughter.
Yeah, Cassandra's a badass.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun playing that. I think I'd like to play a little bit more of it though, to have a bit more of an informed opinion. But Red Dead Redemption 2 was like a very unique gaming experience, I think. And so that's the one I'll pick for Game of the Year. Surprise, surprise.
That's the long-winded roundabout way.
It needs to be. You need to sort of justify this. And I think that it really surprised me, just the pacing of this game. The very specific decisions, the design decisions that they made in this game, like the fact that it forces you to really take the time to do things as simple and mundane as skinning and your inventory management. All of it lends itself to the world that you're actually in, which is the frontier. So I know we're going to talk more about it in a sec when you start talking, Brendan, but I really think that Red Dead Redemption as a game is one of the most unique gaming experiences I've ever had, and for that reason it definitely deserves Game of the Year. Although Asterisk would love to play God of War and compare.
Yeah, I was tossing and turning on this, and I almost had it as a tie for a little while, but ties in awards is a joke. So, I want to give an honorable mention to God of War because it was one of the best experiences I've had playing a game in a long time. It was like playing a AAA film. Like, it was so cinematic, just the way the camera cuts went from a cutscene back to real world environment without any transition, without any loading screen. Like, you'd often find yourself thinking you were still in the cutscene, then you move the stick and Kratos is moving again. Like, it was a testament to Sony Santa Monica. Corey Barlog, who sort of headed this up, did an exceptional job putting that game together. The combat was tight. The story was great. Obviously, larger than life characters, massive boss battles. It was fantastic. I can't wait to see the subsequent sequels that come out of this, no doubt. But yeah, I'm with you, Dream. Red Dead Redemption 2 was my game of the year for pretty well identical reasons that you mentioned. The cast of characters that you deal with through your entire journey, as Arthur Morgan is fantastic. Like you've got a very ragtag group of misfits that you're rolling around, doing all kinds of good and bad things with. Charles was one of my favorite characters. Obviously, the sort of half Indian, half African American type of guy. Maybe he's fully. It's hard to gauge, but he's voiced by the guy from the American Gods television show that's doing the rounds now. I really liked that. I liked the character arc with Arthur that you go on, and I even sort of liked the character arc for Dutch for different reasons, because you end up you hate his fucking guts by the end of it, and obviously that's their intention. But like just the people you meet along the way for just random nothings, like you're just riding along a trail and there's some random NPC there, and you can sit and have like listen to a fleshed out discussion with them over nothing, and there's no repetition. Like you seem to meet new people in every pocket of this frontier America. The combat's tight, graphics is fantastic. Just the amount of areas and ways you can get lost in that game. Like, you know, Ali, you're the best sort of testament to that, where you haven't even touched the main storyline, but you were just deep in the game doing everything else but.
Yeah. No, that's true.
But I love the story. Finished the main story and then the epilogue that's attached to that as well. It's so good. It's one of the best games I've ever played, and Rockstar knocked it out of the park again. And now having me come back with the online aspects, keeping those Western hooks dug in. I'm loving rolling around as John Wayne equivalent, being good and bad depending on the requirements. So yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my 2018 game of the year.
Okay, disclaimer. If we're talking on an aspect for everyone, what game of the year is, 100% I'm with you all. Red Dead Redemption 2, for everyone, is definitely game of the year. Style-wise, it's great. Music-wise, it's great. Story, from what I've heard, is great, and what I've witnessed is great. But in saying that, story amongst, and like the random little NPCs, like you mentioned, I also appreciate how Rockstar got a lot of, bits of history of that time and times in there without really smacking it in your face. There's a lot of stuff that if you just pay attention, a lot happening along the sides, you can get a small glimpse of how bad like certain like groups were treated back then. And some people are playing it and they don't really realize what they're confronted with and how much it was a part of a history. So I do appreciate that as well. So Red Dead 2, and then the online element, as you said, it's great so far, and it's only going to get better, we hope. So Red Dead 2 is definitely game of the year for me in that aspect. But in regards to my personal choice, everyone get your eyes ready to roll, because I'm going to say Destiny 2 Forsaken, only because we're talking about game of the year, and Red Dead came out on the arse end of the year. So it feels really weird for me to reward a game that I've only played for a couple of weeks. When Destiny 2, I've been playing continually, almost like every day, every week. With Forsaken Element, Bungie pulled up their socks, reevaluated what they had to do, and then brought back great content that everyone wanted. A special mention was Gambit. I play Gambit every damn day. I love that. I love and hate Gambit. So I just feel like that Bungie should get some props into bringing out this content. It came out at a full game price, so I think I'm justified by classifying it as a game. And I just believe that since I've played it the most this year, and I keep on coming back to it this year, and it's also I've developed a lot of friendships and joined a lot of communities in this, that for me it's particularly cool and special. So for me, it's my game of the year.
Cool.
I think that's justified. I think the way you sold it and described your experience with it then and what it's done for you, I think that's, it's more than justified and deserving of your own, at least individual game of the year award.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because I know a lot of people, Jono, I'm looking at you, are going to roll their eyes at that answer. But yeah, that's the great thing about gaming. It's all personable. It's all our own experiences.
It's all subjective.
So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it definitely is sort of that, just like in original Destiny, it's risen from the ashes again, after a bit of a sort of slippery and staggered, questionable launch. It's finding its feet again in that sort of second year with all the expansions and evolutions of the game. So, yeah. Do you think they do it on purpose? Do you think they sort of come out and keep that bar low and then just come out and go, boom, look at us now?
No.
Why wouldn't you want to be the best game from the start? Not like, the problem is that everyone associates Destiny with being the shit game that has the shit people that don't listen to their fans, and their fans are salty, and like it's not a very appealing community, really. Like when you see the face value,
selling it
like
now.
well, it's not. Like, if you witness like half the crap that you see online when it comes to Destiny, it's a lot of salty people, a lot of angry people, a lot of self-deserving people, and some of it's justified in its sense, but it's a lot of negativity. So I'm lucky that like I get to see and be a part of the good side of it.
Game of the Year 2018.
Ali's Game of the Year 2018. Fuck you, Sam.
It's fine. I've not said a single thing about this game. I feel like you've said everything that needs to be said. The good and the bad.
Yeah.
I don't wear rose-tinted glasses.
I will say though, like it was a great experience playing Forsaken this year. Like they're rounding into form again, as I said before. Like, and if they keep building off that platform now, it'll be a great game for future years. But season passes now, battle passes. What's next? Come on, Bungie. It's not as if you're hard up for cash. Come on now, give us some free content.
Yeah.
So that was our 2018 Hungry Awards. It has been a very, very, very long award-related episode 132 of the Hungry Gamers. Is there anything either of yourselves want to say bring to the table before we wrap this episode up for another week?
I look forward to Festivus next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The airing of grievances.
Yeah, we need to weave in some feats of strength somehow. We've got a week to refine this, so let's see what we can come up with in that regard.
Okay.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Festivus.
Like physical strength?
It could be mental strength. Strength is interpretive.
Wrestle with your father, George. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm really excited for next week as well. It's always fun to hear what I've been doing wrong. I feel like I've improved this year on my tardiness. I know I was a little bit late today, but other than that, I think I've been pretty good lately.
Yeah,
But-
you've been pretty good.
Bonus
You've been
points
pretty
for Sam. Yeah, thanks,
We'll
guys.
see. We'll see. But yeah,
Thanks for doing what you were meant to do, Sam. Points for you, buddy.
All I had to do all year was get out of bed. It's great.
Yeah, and you could do that.
I still was late. Sorry. Anyway,
it's Britannia. You know, you can't argue with the Vikings.
no. Or you'll get
True.
the big don't argue from us.
Yeah. So that has been episode 132 of the Hungry Gamers podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe on the iTunes / Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every other podcast platform of your choosing. While you're there, search the hashtag 8-Bit Collective and show some love to 9 other fantastic podcasts within said 8-Bit Collective, and also 8bit.net for the entirety of our portfolio. Podcasts, videos, everything else in between. Check it out. Bucket load of video content up there still. A lot of cool stuff from PAX as I've harped on the last few weeks. But check it out. There is a lot of love and attention being given to upcoming titles for 2019 and beyond. So that is all from the Hungry Gamers here for episode 132. Find me at Brendan8bit. Find Miss Ellie Hart at Miss Ellie Hart. And find Salim Abraham at SalimTD. And all of us as a collective at We Are 8-Bit. Until next week for the last episode of the Hungry Gamers for 2018. Much love.
Stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.